What's up, everybody? Mojobreak on Loupe is live. Cody with you, Doug with you, and you probably already know this guy standing, looking on Loupe, sitting in front of our cameras. Music legend, entrepreneur, hobby legend, DJ Skee.
What's up, guys? So glad to be here. And congrats to Loupe for 2 years. It's crazy.
That's right.
Yes. I couldn't believe it's been 2 years already. It seems like just yesterday we were all sitting home in the pandemic breaking boxes for the first time.
Yeah.
The app started. And now look at where we are. Your guys' place is insane.
We appreciate that, man.
I love it.
We forgot the balloons, though. We should have had some balloons.
Yeah,
know,
where's the
right?
cake?
The cake, balloons next time.
DJ Skee, what's up, man? How we doing?
Man, I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah.
It's good times. It's my favorite month of the year, right? Like we're wrapping up, we got like the 4 major sports going on right now, so I just love October.
Yeah.
Right? Like October baseball, even though the series didn't go as long as I wanted for the championship series. So
yeah, only 4 games for what, the Astros and Astros Phillies.
Right?
I feel like that's a weird one because like Astros, there's like the team everyone hates,
Yeah,
but
and
like
they're gonna win.
Yeah, right. But like
They
Philadelphia sports also just has that
the grittiness,
right.
literally.
Right. Philadelphia sports fans have a reputation. There you go. I was trying to figure out a nice way to say that.
It's a nice way to
Well,
say
bigger for the hobby, though, probably Bryce Harper winning one, right?
Yeah, that was great.
for sure.
He was a great pickup for the last couple of years, right? Like a lot of people just forgot about him, right? And like he's still was, I remember just the hype. I went to, because when he got called up by Washington, it was in LA. So I remember hearing that night that he got called up. So I got dugout club seats because I was like, I want to see this kid that's so hyped. And I remember he smoked the ball. I think he got a single, but he was just smoking. It was just incredible watching that energy, and he had that like star appeal in, and now it's like that home run is just still.
Oh yeah, locked in, legendary. Like that's already maybe maybe I'm going out on a limb here. I feel like that's the top 5 Philadelphia sports moment right now. That was incredible to watch live too. Yeah, man, he is something else. I want to talk about a little bit about you and your journey into this world before we get going and start ripping some boxes. But like, obviously, your background in music, Skee TV, radio, and then all of that builds up to you venturing into cards and collectibles. When you start to kind of pick out like what do you want to do as a business venture, like what attracted you to this world?
Sure. So like sports cards was actually my first business as, like a 7-8-year-old. Like I used to sell them in my garage and to my friends and just became obsessed with it. It was my way to interact with sports and my favorite players. Growing up in Minnesota and watching, Kirby Puckett, who we have right here, win the World Series in '91 is what got me hooked. Like it was my first high. So, and after that, that's when I was like, I can buy cards of these players that I love. So that from there, the rest was history. Got into music, and like DJing was the path that I took down. When I moved to LA when I was 17 after I got a job for the CEO of Loud Records. I had to get rid of all my stuff just because I had to pay rent in LA and I wasn't getting paid that much. But then over the years got back into it. I've always been like my father was always deep into collecting, right? Like as a kid he'd always get me like signed balls, and we'd go to the games and stadiums and I'd get signatures. Actually, I still have. In the '91 World Series, the Twins starting catcher, Brian Harper, threw me his batting glove before Game 7, and I still have that. And I actually went back and got his like game-used jersey now.
No way.
And framed them together. Wow. So I've always been into like collecting and memorabilia. And well, a lot of people know me from music. That enabled me to like really go deep and start buying and getting all these crazy things. And I was also super deep in the sneaker scene. And when the pandemic happened, right, like I'd started getting back into cards, right? But I do a lot of work with sports teams and leagues on the entertainment side. So still go back to Minnesota and DJ all our Vikings games. I do stuff with the University of Michigan now. We've done everything from like the New Orleans Saints, NBA Finals, MLB now, All-Star Game, playoffs, you name it. And so there's always it was a natural intersection. I just the reason I DJ a lot of that stuff is it's my excuse to go to games.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
And be in the field. So I just try to find ways to get paid off of things that I love, and that's how kind of cards came about. Like I saw the scene really exploding, and knowing that my background in sports and kind of collecting and entertainment, and obviously like I'd always been deep into sports cards. I just jumped all in, especially when I had the pandemic. Like everybody else, we had a lot more time and just went crazy and really like had the time. Like I'd started accumulating and collecting a little before that, but was able to really go all in and then come with all these like just things that happen, like doing the cards with Topps like we have in front of us.
Yep.
Investing, getting involved in companies like Loupe that we were an early investor in, opening shops like Cards and Coffee, interacting with all you guys, like DJing the Panini. We were just talking about Atlantic City parties, and For me, it's just so much fun, right? Like I love the memories and just looking at all these things on the table. I'm so excited to open it up. So that's my story.
Yeah. What was one of the first boxes when you jumped back in that you opened up?
It was a basketball. It was what was it? It was Prism basketball. I forget which year. And I had the worst box ever, like the worst hits. I remember who was I? I was like sending pictures. People are like, "Oh, you literally got the worst box ever." Usually it's the opposite. Usually you get your big hits, right, and then you never get anything again.
Right.
This I got literally like less than anything ever.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing. It humbles you at the beginning.
It did,
like,
for sure.
It's got to
I was
be
like,
better than this, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was only going up from that.
Yeah.
But, then got in. And then I started buying like a bunch of old classic stuff. Like I love all the old like 90s and like always hunting for inserts and all the baseball stuff. We're talking about products like, everything really like baseball, basketball, football is what I really love, as well as like a lot of that alternative random stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that's something that we've kind of latched onto is a lot of, especially like music stuff. And like it just feels like that's still this untapped market.
100%. That's what I love, right? And that's why even my cards, right? Like I try to combine all the cards I did with Topps were themed with some music inspiration where I'd combine an album, whether it's Prince and Kirby Puckett with a player, right? And like that was me remixing it as a DJ. I thought it made sense for my brand. It brought me back to when I was doing mixtapes, right? Like creating those covers because that's how we'd have to sell them. That's all people would see. So it's basically creating like mixtape covers from baseball cards, which was so fun for that project.
Yeah. And you had QR codes for playlists.
Yeah,
that was an awesome element.
It was fun. So you could actually have a playlist so you'd understand, and especially because I'd spend like people are like, oh, you did a cool design. I'm like, I'd spend so much time, actually more time like thinking on the concept than the actual design process. Like it would take days, weeks sometimes, and there'd be so many hidden little details. Like if you look into the card, and I could break those down in the playlist, because if you just look at it, like, oh, it's a cool design, but like everything from like the reason the border is this, the reason that his hand is holding up 3 fingers, like there's probably like 100 little stories in each card, and when you really dive down, it becomes really, really fun for it.
It's a 2-year anniversary of Loupe.
Yes.
You talked about getting involved in Loupe from the get-go here. What attracted you to getting involved with Loupe, maybe compared to other similar platforms?
Yeah, I think Loupe was incredible, right? Just because it was focused on card collectors. And Eric and the team behind it, now Chris and everybody else that's there, are like real card heads, right? Like they're actively buying stuff. They know the market. They're not just in it for the dollar signs that they see. Well, there's obviously, we think, a tremendous business opportunity. That's why, like, okay, it's a business at the end of the day. They have to make money. That's why we invested in them. But I thought it was just a really like authentic, pure site that was great, and like using it, right, and jumping on and seeing the streams and seeing the reactions and seeing how great the community is. You guys are awesome out there. Like I try to jump in streams whenever I can, and it's awesome, great just talking with you guys and just seeing the entertainment. And I thought they just built a really good product that was focused specifically on sports cards and for that sports card world. And I thought they did just an incredible job with it. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, doing this now, breaking on Loupe. I know I got Ty here who's also helping out. So like we're in agreement. Yeah, it's a great community. We love being a part of it.
Y'all are awesome.
So hey, without further ado, let's rip open some boxes.
Let's go.
Shall we? Let's start off with that in case. If you want to rip that open,
so the only rule before we get started, any Minnesota cards, I get first dibs at, right?
Adrian Peterson.
Let's go, right?
Loupe, what do we say?
Nobody else wants my miserable. I was saying maybe. I mean, we got Justin Jefferson now, right?
We got Mac Jones on the cover. What do we think about that situation? Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones.
I don't know. They should have put a Viking on the play. We're 5-1, right?
Right,
like,
exactly.
I'm messed up with that one. I'm excited. I'm trying to debate if we're real or not. I want to see if people in chat, are the Vikings for real? I mean, we've come back from some of these games. Like, I don't know on the fence. Like, some of the games we should have won that were closer. Others, like, we shouldn't have won, but record's 5-1. All it doesn't matter.
I don't know. This is like the weirdest year of the NFL, like in years. I know they pride themselves on like parity is our one thing. We love that everybody's involved, but like it's really hard to tell.
I don't know
because of that who's real.
Like I'm like, are we going to the Super Bowl or are we gonna fall out? I mean, I'm obviously optimistic, but I've had my heart broken too many times.
Yeah, I think Cousins getting over that playoff hump, right? Getting there, but then getting those wins.
I'll also believe the end of Aaron Rodgers when I see it. I'm at that.
I wait for it. I hate the
we're close. Like it's as close as it's ever been. But
Vikings and Bears fans uniting on that.
I know.
One.
Right? Oh yeah, we love it. All right, which one?
All right, let's start off with the pack, and then we'll see what is inside that encased pack.
Let's see what we got in here. Let's start off with an auto right here, and I love the customization on this too. Look at that. Tylan Wallace, who writes Ravens Flock. Here, let's see if we can see that up there. That's pretty sick sig
customization.
I like that. Rookie endorsements, number 5 out of 50. That's a great one.
All right.
Not a bad little start. Now,
We'll see what we got.
What are we calling our shot here?
guys are waiting
2021. We got Trevor. We got Mac. We got Trey. We got.
I'm calling
There's
a
lot of
Viking.
guys.
I'm calling a
Calling
Viking in here, right? Who's 21-21 for the
Kellen Mond?
Vikings?
Kellen Mond. Yeah, I was going to say.
Probably is gonna
it
be,
would
right?
Kellen Mond.
Keen and Wongwu.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh,
You guys are
man.
gonna like this.
Is that a green team there?
It's a green team.
Oh man.
We just talked about him.
It's somebody. I know. He's from. Yeah. Graded number.
There we go.
BGS 9. Rookie notable signatures number 37 of 50. We have Zach Wilson.
Wow.
That's a great card right
That's
there.
incredible.
That's a great get. All right, we're starting off strong right now for the 2-year anniversary here at Loupe.
What do you say? You want to do some rap packs?
Yeah, let's do that. I was going to say, you mentioned
Yeah.
Loud Records.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the Wu-Tang days,
Wu-Tang
right?
Clan, right?
You know, Wu-Tang forever. I remember a gravel pit in my Discman.
That's when I was there, yeah.
You know, it was, I could recite most of the first verse of Triumph.
There we go.
I won't do it for the kids that are watching this, but we've got some rap packs. We also have
these
some
are
Pro Set
sick.
Superstars as well. And
That's sick.
let's see if we generate any stories out of
It's
these.
so sick. I haven't actually ripped these. I've seen the cards in them, but I've never ripped a pack of these. So I'm excited to see what's in this. Enough is enough.
Oh, that's creative.
We're getting some of these like one-hit wonders. This is like opening up like a Bowman set, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
rookie
exactly.
draft.
Yeah, yep.
Years later, and you're like, who the hell are these people?
2004, the guys are already out of the
Colin
league, yeah.
James.
Yep.
I've heard the name, but I
Yeah,
don't really
these
remember.
are-
I feel bad as a DJ. All right. The Bullet Boys. Look at those pants, right? Like this is their
That's one of Dan's
go.
favorites.
There
right
we- that's my-
There we go.
That's Smooth Up in ya?
That is.
There we go.
I think that is. You're right. That's
Yeah.
good knowledge,
They're
Doug.
still, the outfits are still stuck in the 80s in this one,
Yeah.
too. It's a 91
Good
set.
Halloween outfits now.
Flesh for Lulu. We're getting out there.
Are
with
these
some of these
real?
things.
What's that?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a real star.
Is it a banger?
Keith Sweat.
Oh,
there
there
we
you go.
go. I love my
Bang,
90s
bang,
R&B.
baby.
So,
Yep.
oh, it starts off with a big one. That's a banger.
Ooh.
A young Lenny Kravitz. I don't know if that's a
Oh,
rookie
that
card.
might be rookie Lenny Kravitz.
Is that a rookie Lenny Kravitz?
It'd be pretty close, I'd imagine.
Yeah, exactly. This young artist, debut in 1989, so it's right up there. It's a young Lenny Kravitz. You have Randy Rhoads.
Nice, from Ozzy Osbourne.
With the classic
All right,
little,
yeah.
you remember those like little guitars, the electric guitars that were in fashion then. I used to play guitar, and I used to want one of those style guitars.
Is that a Jackson Jackson V?
Yep.
We got a music store, so he knows all the,
You know it all.
the gear.
And I think we got one that we talked about next. After Bo Diddley, we have, which is a good one.
Bo Diddley is like, yeah, it's got like a parallel.
Is that Madonna? Ooh.
Madonna.
Oh yeah, and she's
Look
featured.
at that image.
photo.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think I.
She is featured heavily in this
Madonna,
set too.
yeah, fire with it when she had the cone bra too,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the iconic like 1991. Isn't it crazy that this was what 31 years ago?
Yeah.
And look at how she's still around, isn't that
Still
crazy?
around,
A lot of these
still
people, Lenny
relevant.
Kravitz,
Yeah.
it's nuts. That's what's great about
Well, you
music.
mentioned Snoop Dogg, another guy who's just lasted
around.
forever. And
Yeah.
still
Forever, right?
one of the #1 guys out there.
It's crazy. It's the 30th anniversary next in December of the Chronic, Dre's album, which is Snoop's real debut. So Snoop, 30 years in the game now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to this Rat Pack.
Yeah, let's
What
do
are we
it.
hunting for in here? What are the hits?
I know there's an Eazy-E rookie.
Yep.
I believe is an NWA rookie card.
That's sick.
Kid Rock when we had the Kid and Play haircut.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was full on.
That's
rapper.
insane.
Yeah.
So these are my homies. We just had an event with them. We got a station with them on Dash. Booyah Tribe.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Booyah Tribe. That's that real OG stuff. So, and they're still around. Shout to my whole Pacific Islander family out there. Great guys. I've known them forever. They're always around. So I'm going to actually steal that one. Get them to sign it.
Yeah, there you
Come
go.
back. There we go.
There you go, yeah.
UTFO. And look at like the old the diamonds in the little like logo, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they got the logo. That's fire,
so
right?
nice.
So I don't know if that's like a parallel, right? Like instead of there, at least you didn't have foil at
Yeah,
that
that would
time.
be their version.
Michelle A, right?
Okay,
Who's
from,
another
from Death Row.
Yep, Death Row, right? Speaking of that time, and Dr. Dre, right? And
Let's Play House on the Dog Pound album was great.
Oh, there we go.
this one's fire. Here's a guy that I work with a lot. Ice Cube.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's a great one,
I haven't
right?
seen the photo, but we got
I might
Jerry
have to
curl
get him to
going on?
sign that one too. You got the Jerry curl under the
With the Coming
under
to
beam,
America
with the
shirt
Coming to
on?
America shirt.
That's sick.
I'm gonna get him to sign that one. Kid and Play.
Okay.
There we go. Who at the time were so massive,
Huge.
right? Like bigger than all these people.
Yep.
damn, there's a lot in there. Just seems like it never ends. Mellow Man Ace.
Okay.
Let's go and look at the little like '90s background, right? It's like the photo background of the lasers.
I was gonna say it's the type of place you go like to get your family photo at Sears or something. Yeah,
100%. All right, let's get to the next pack quickly. And we'll see what we've got in there. That was some good hits. That was.
While you're opening that one, I do want to ask from your Skee TV days. I mean, you had a ton of artists come through for the very first time. Were there any guys that walked through, any groups that walked through, where the moment you saw them, you're like, they're gonna make it? Like even maybe before you heard some of those guys.
Yeah, there was. I'm trying to think of like the biggest ones. I mean, Game, when I first met him, that was in Skee TV. That was a little before, but doing that, I just knew he was gonna be a superstar before he even signed to like Aftermath I guess he was at Aftermath at the time, but before he was messing with 50 and stuff. So he just had that like quality and charisma. You knew it instantly. Akon early on when we had him on the show. I remember we had so many people like watching. I mean, Kendrick early, I knew he was just the best rapper I'd ever seen. I just didn't know if he was going to be able to make like an album, because he was just like a freestyle rapper. And we're like, all right, can he actually do it? And he's gone on to make these incredible albums. So he had it. Post just always had like records and a different energy. Travis was always just like different and out there, right? So he just had like that different star appeal. So yeah, you kind of know. Gaga came in with just the swagger of like she was already Madonna, right?
Wow.
So yeah, like watching that. And Bieber, I didn't like, I knew Scooter for a while. And when he got up to the studio, all these girls showed up outside, and I was like, Scooter, you don't gotta fake it and like try to bring these girls to try to impress me like he has fans. He's like, no, they're really real. So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, his fan base is insane.
When he was like right after the YouTube,
young
right?
kid, like his voice hadn't even changed yet, so it's crazy. Of course, we got our ads again. You can join the Pump It Up posse. And guess who our big card is? Guess who?
Easy.
There we go.
That's
Easy right there, as we talked about.
Yeah,
that's a great picture,
the graded ones of those do really well.
It's so sick. So I actually was going to, one of my cards, I had a Bo Jackson card for Topps that Bo stopped approving any cards from that, but I had, dude, it was the sickest one. I had an Eazy-E cover of him. It was basically this pose. It might have actually been the same image where I had Bo with that, with the Jerry curl. And it's crazy because one of Eazy-E's albums covers, he's wearing, the guy behind him is wearing an Angels hat, and the other guy, he's wearing a Sox hat, which is Bo's team, and the other guy's wearing a Royals hat behind him, which is just insane in the actual real Eazy-E album cover. Yeah. I was like, wild. What? Like those teams that Bo was on, right? So I was so excited about it. Hopefully we can put it out someday. Gangstar, R.I.P. Guru, DJ Premier, one of the greatest producers of all time. Mitchie, Me, and L.A. Love. Again, don't know. And there we go.
Got more if we want to keep.
We got more rap packs. We'll do a couple more, right? Like these are fun.
Yeah, these are really fun.
Like I like it, right?
I was watching a video. I'm a big MGK fan, even from when he started rapping, and I still.
He had that star appeal too early on.
How are you so calm when you flipped over that couch on that set that day? That was crazy.
I've been around him and known him, for years since he first came up.
There chilling, and he's just flipping over the couch.
Yeah, he's hype, right? Like he loves to get turned up. Like that's what his shows are like. That's really what he is. So I loved it. I love that energy. Anything that's wild like that, and I've been through all those situations, so I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
I embrace that stuff.
I would imagine, there's been enough of those moments in working in the music world.
That was easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's just another day at the office.
Exactly.
The sound guy had to run in there though, real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Put his mic on, right? That's a sick one. Ice-T right there. That's gangster. Still around right now, and it's funny. More kids probably know him from TV show.
Yeah, I think he actually just put out. He's now the longest tenured actor on television right now.
That's insane.
Isn't that wild?
Good for him.
Yeah.
From hip hop, right? From like.
Yeah. Would you have thought in the early 90s it would have been
187 on Undercover Guy, right?
I know, right?
Ice-T would be Law and Order, and Snoop Dogg would be doing a show with Martha Stewart. That's where we're
crazy, right?
Here we are in 2020.
Marley Marl and Curtis Blow, two OG hip hop legends, so only fitting for it. And let's get one more pack. Kid and Play, followed by Kid and Play to Kid
with
Rock.
Wow,
with the haircut.
That haircut.
That's insane. Y'all gotta take a picture of this. This is wild.
He was actually on.
Look at him on the back.
He was on an Insane Clown Posse record when he.
I had no idea. So you're teaching me. I didn't know about early Kid Rock like this.
That's what I had heard of him because a lot of my friends
had no idea.
Posse, and he was on like one of their first albums because they were both from Detroit. So I think it was like, hey, do a record with.
Shout to Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
All right, what do you say? Should we open a big boy right here?
Panini 1-in-1.
That's 1-in-1 1920.
Ooh. That's
1-in-1 1920.
You sure you guys want me to touch this?
Oh, yes.
We're going to lose it if we pull one of those guys. We're going to lose it.
What's the reaction going to be? What do you guys hope for? Who are your favorite players?
I'm a Warrior fan, so Curry,
I mean, Zion's really, it's weird to say he's on the come up, but like the way he looks early season is impressive.
You guys are gonna like this one.
Really?
I think
You guys
I
are gonna
might have
like
caught a
this one.
peek. Yeah.
Any guesses? Not who you said. That's my hint. Any guesses in there? They're gonna like it. Bay Area is the hint. Nope.
Oh yeah, that's what it would have been.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that would have been a great
yeah.
one. What do you guys think it is?
Mullen?
Let's see.
Look at that.
Did I call it?
Call your
Chris
shot.
Mullen right there. Called the shot.
Wow.
Such a fire card right there, right?
And on card, too.
You gonna call a shot again now?
Phew. Cody, you want to take a guess? I want to go 1 for 1, and then I'm
I'm gonna say this time we get a rookie. Ooh, other 1920 rookies.
It's probably going to be a base card, I think.
We've got
Or a downtown.
a downtown.
Ooh.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Kobe White.
Whoa. Wow.
Wow.
It's a good one, right?
That's
And that
really good
Bull,
one.
I haven't actually paid attention. The Bulls downtown one is fire,
That's a
right?
really
That's a great
sick
piece
one.
of art. That's actually one of the sicker downtown versions
Yeah.
that we have.
We've got a lot more to rip here, too, so.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to
You want to
get
get?
through.
Yeah. You want? What should we? I'll let you pick.
Let's do
What
some
do you want
baseball.
written in? Yeah, let's do
baseball.
it.
Since it's baseball season, I'm
Yep.
excited about it. I
World
really,
Series
you
on
know,
Friday.
I know everybody's hyped about basketball and football now. I love
Yeah.
baseball still.
I wanna
2020
ask you-
and 22 is such a good year.
I'm sure
Some
you've been
great
asked this
rookies
before. Your Mount Rushmore of Minnesota sports, and I want to have this caveat. Just please remember, Prince is 1-0 against Charlie Murphy in pickup basketball, so you can include him on your Minnesota
Gotta
sports
take
Mount
Prince.
Rushmore.
That's not
I
in
feel like
there.
you can put Prince on every Minnesota Mount Rushmore, music, sports, everything. Like you just put him there.
So I got to do two sides. I've got to do like classic, right, growing up, and then
Yeah.
current. So because otherwise it's too difficult to break down. But obviously Kirby Puckett, like that's what got me
Yeah.
into sports. Being there, '91 World Series. Growing up, Kevin Garnett, being able to watch him play from his rookie year on, right?
Yeah.
And like I remember going to a game and watching him in the Jordan 11s. This 18-year-old kid that was 7 feet tall, that weighed about 120 pounds, right? Like, and watching him grow into a league MVP. Growing up, Randy Moss was my idol. So, like, there was nobody from the moment he stepped on the scene, and just like. It's weird because you watch Justin Jefferson, who's like setting every record, right? And you're like wait, how does he have 200 yards? And he's incredible. And he quietly does it. Like Moss was the opposite. He boldly did it. Like,
Yeah.
He's like 3 catches. Like we remember the what was it, the Thanksgiving game against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Where he like 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 180 yards, like something insane, right? Like gets the turkey leg after and actually tries to eat it and doesn't realize you can't. But I mean, he's just so
prop
dominant.
food,
It's just so
yeah.
exciting to watch. Current, I'm gonna say like in the Twins. Ooh, it's tough. My favorite, like Byron Buxton. He's just the most exciting player when he's
so fun
healthy.
to
I
watch.
think in MLB, like what he does. Like I always love defensive center fielders. That's why I loved Ken Griffey Jr. so much. Beyond what you do with the bat, like it's what you do in the field, and he's one of the best fielders. Just so incredible when he's healthy. But Luis Ariz is the most interesting player I think to watch.
Yeah.
Taking at bat, the best pure hitter that you've seen. He literally practices. It's my guy. He practices in his hotel room in a tee every night. Like he puts in the work.
He's got an old school mentality that you don't see, I feel like, from modern hitters.
And he's not appreciated, right? Because he's a batting average guy
Yeah.
and like the best pure hitter that you'll see that's not hitting him out of the park.
Kind of guy that I think is going to benefit next year when all the rules change, the
100%.
defensive shifts are gone. Like I feel like
He's gonna-
that type of player is going to thrive.
And still
again.
won a batting title this year, right?
Yeah.
Like first time All-Star. So those two from the Twins. Vikings, I mean, I'm going to go like in defense with my guys like Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith's a beast.
Like 2 OG legends that have been down with the team since I've been working with them, right? Like the last 2. I think the only 2 players that have been with the team the whole time since I started working with them in 2016. But then it's like Justin Jefferson, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It who did Randy play when he did the and he got a
was
penalty for
Packers.
that? Was that Packers?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was Packers. The Joe Buck call still is one of the funniest, the most disgusting act.
Oh god, it was
Because I think T.O. gets a lot of credit for the celebrations, but it was kind of Randy's thing.
Yeah.
Randy did it low-key.
He was kind of a
Randy's a quiet
trendsetter.
guy. I love Randy.
He walked so T.O. could run, you know?
And then basketball, like, look, I'll say it, 3 T-Wolves. I mean, Anthony Edwards is so exciting. Cat
Yeah.
is so talented, and Rudy's such a good fit, and they're all homies. So we got a good, good little window
This is
right
the
now.
year.
It's
Nice,
so
yeah.
I know I gave you
I'll
too
throw in
many
some hockey
answers,
love.
but
Kirill the Thrill
it's there.
Kaprizov also
for
for
sure,
the Wild.
right? He's insane.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of great young players. All right,
All
let's
right.
see what we're starting off this with. This one's pretty fun, right? Like, we'll take it back. I went to last year when I was in New York. It was which anniversary of 9/11? What was it? The 20-year
was the
anniversary
20th,
of
yeah.
9/11. I went to that game, and it was just electric. The Mets game.
Wow.
So it's only right that we have.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
Piazza.
Right?
Nice.
Home Run Kings autographed relic card from 2022 Luminaries
nice.
Baseball, which is Sick card. Piazza, one of the great catchers, especially growing up of my
Oh
generation.
yeah, and obviously
right?
that iconic moment after the first game in New York. After
Piazza is the man.
Yeah.
Greatest hitting catcher of all time?
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Although I was going to say...
I'd say pure hitting Joe Mauer while he was a catcher.
I was about to say.
Can you qualify him as a catcher? And that's what sucks. Like, once he had the concussion, right? Like, he moved to first base where the value wasn't. And he just, it actually affected his hitting and stuff, too, so he didn't bat as good. But up until the point of that injury, Joe Mauer, without question.
Oh, he was so
good. The best hitting catcher of all time in that short period. He's batting like 347 and hitting home runs and stuff as a catcher.
I remember playing fantasy baseball. If you missed Joe Mauer, you were just like, I'm not even going to draft a catcher for
I remember, so I went to
10 rounds.
He was a year earlier than me. He went to Creighton High School in St. Paul. I went to Central, so we'd play him. He's so good. He's batting like 600 in high school. While he won Football Player of the Year and stuff, it just wasn't fair. I thought I was going to be a pro baseball player. I would say, there's one player better than me. It was Joe.
Yeah. Nice.
School, so.
Yeah, he was a pretty good one. Yeah, he's got a legit claim to, I think, Minnesota Mount Rushmore just for being a hometown kid.
And being a hometown kid. And look, everybody's like, oh, you got paid too much. Like, no, you had to sign him, right? Like, if he stayed healthy and did those things, it's just like an unfortunate circumstance, him getting the injuries that, took him out. And it sucks to see that, but still had like a great career to
I think
that,
so.
right?
I think he's got a legit shot at the Hall of Fame when that time comes. We got some Sterling baseball now, 2022. This is an incredible box.
And we have themed packs, which is awesome with this stuff. So you can kind of dream of what you're going to hit.
Do we want to do the MVP winners or the postseason performers?
Ooh. Start with the postseason performers.
Let's start with that. Let's see what we get out of it.
So we got one autograph relic card numbered to 25 or one unique 1/1 relic.
Yep. And there's bat knobs, there's cut autos.
Dude, those are so cool, right? Like anytime you get a card with like some of those pieces on it, I still don't know how the hell they put those in, right? Like,
Right.
Shave them off, and the bat knobs always look legit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or where they get the cleats with like the dirt in them still. It's one of my favorite ones.
They used to have this they stopped making it for about 10 years, but they had it in 07 and 08, and they were player themed then. So you'd pull it and it'd be like Paul Molitor or Johnny Bench, or they actually had Barry Bonds back then.
This is actually a really good one, especially for this team should have made the World Series there. I watched him in '91 go against the Twins and luckily lose. He's now a commentator. This is a beautiful card and a great all-time great pitcher, right?
Oh wow! Look at those patches.
Sick
but
patches.
I remember watching him. His rookie year was '91, and he was pitching in the '91 World Series.
Of course.
I think he started game
the iconic game against
or did he go 7? Yeah, he did 7.
Him and Jack Morris, the iconic matchup.
And again, pitched.
What's that one number to? Is that a
1/1?
Oh my God!
Fires. That's why I was like,
wow.
Braves fans and like a lot of the older ones, like
1/1 Smoltz with some amazing patches
I'm putting
too.
that back in this box. I'm not even touching this one.
Can we top that in the next pack?
Well,
that's a tough one, right? Like a 1/1 Smoltz, like all-time legend. It's another 1/1. This one's going to be fun because it's going to be a patch.
Oh, wow.
On the back. It's a jersey patch from a great Colorado player.
Maybe Helton.
Oh, it's got to be Todd Helton or Larry
Galarraga.
Yeah, there we go. We got Larry Walker. We got the K from Larry Walker.
Oh, my God.
There.
Wow.
That's a sick card, right?
Wow.
Look at that patch.
Hall of Famer.
Game used memorabilia right there. You can see the little it's really cool on this one too because you actually see the purple pinstripe in the back of the K from the positioning of the way it is from the diamond from the Rockies uniform. So
wow,
really sick card. I used to love that. I used to wear a Rockies hat all the time as a kid because I just love those colors.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like,
sick card.
And they're an expansion team, so something new. So
yeah, exactly.
Is that? I wonder if that was from the SpongeBob. Thing that he wore. For the Hall of Fame.
Dude. You want to talk about drip?
Yep.
Larry Walker wearing the SpongeBob. I think he even wore a little like SpongeBob enamel pin.
Yeah,
like just a little subtle hint when he was up there.
That was a Pandy Hall of Fame ceremony, right? Because it was like during
he waited a year, but he was just
a
in
video
his SpongeBob outfit, camo outfit.
For those guys. Yeah, no, he was a great player, like just such a good hitter and stuff. So.
Super good. Before we start ripping more boxes, I kind of a little bit different of question for you. You obviously have a lot of business ventures, and I think there's probably a lot of folks watching on Loupe and watching here who would like to know, like, kind of your tips of like what does it take to be a good entrepreneur, like ideas that you kind of that you seek when you're looking at new business ventures, new ideas. What are, maybe it's a really broad question.
No, it's a great
like
question.
What do you, when you're going into a new business or a new line or something new in business, what are you looking for?
Great question. For me, I was boiled down to like, it's like I say, the 3 Ps, I have them hung over my office. It's like patience, persistence, and perseverance, right? Like those are the keys to success. You have to be patient, as difficult as that can be for me sometimes, right? And then, the most successful people are the ones that don't quit. That's really the key thing. It's who's standing at the end of the day. It's like a prize fight. You can lose rounds and you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get punched. Can you withstand that? And can you stand at the end? Because that's half the battle. Like you win if you're just the last one standing, and then persevering through all the adversity and everything that you face. So people that can fight through those things are, I'd take all day like the fighter and somebody that's more aggressive versus somebody with even like a better idea for that. Like, because at the end of the day, you've just got to figure it out, and things are going to change. But that's kind of how I'm here, right? Like it's a lot of hard work and never giving up and just keeping it right. And like, well, I post all the highlights and all those things. I'm like, look, there's always the whole other side of like all the other work and the things behind the scenes that don't go right. Like posting the highlight reels, we don't post the downside, so people don't see that as much. But for me, it's just like never quitting. If I if I listen to all the no's that I got and still get right, like I wouldn't be anywhere. But
how do you stay organized during all this? Like, what's your tips to stay on track for all these ventures?
For sure. I mean, it's identifying like what your time is, right? Like that's the one thing you can't get back, and it's most precious to us. So making sure that you're doing things that kind of like figuring out where you ultimately want to be, and making sure that everything you do kind of falls in that path. That's why even when people hit me up to do something or for like investment in something, if it doesn't fall within those guidelines, it might be great. It's just not for me or not an area that I can help out or be, specialize in. So for me, it's just like organizing and always constantly challenging yourself and surrounding yourself with the right people that can help guide you through that aren't just like yes man, that are going to help, guide you in the right direction and give you that sounding board, and give you great advice from that, and then just going out and actually like maintaining it and executing the things that you say you're going to do.
And I noticed you mentioned a lot of your stuff is based on passion, and I think that's the biggest key to success
100%.
is loving what you do, right?
100%.
But going along with that, there's always going to be stuff that go along with your passion that you don't want to do. So
100%.
How do you force yourself to do those things that aren't as fun?
It's tough, right? Like you guys, right? Like you guys are opening sports cards for a living. It's incredible, but with that, you still have to ship them out. You have to set up the website. You have to set up all the behind the scenes stuff. Like this is the fun stuff. This isn't work, even though it is, right? Like this is the fun part, but all the things that take to get here and all the years of work to get to that point where you have the platform and the audience to be able to do this for a living is what takes a long time and is what the grind's about, right? So you have to realize, like, see where you want to go and be willing to make that sacrifice to get to that end road and to be able to react to all the obstacles in your way.
Now, if I think I saw on your about that you were selling PS2s, and that's how you got hooked up with Loud.
Yeah.
So you were kind of flipping those things, and then it was in the right place at the right time?
I was always like entrepreneurial, and my friends at high school would work at like Best Buy or Target. So I'd slide them $20 to tell me when the new shipments were coming in, and I'd go buy them and sell them for double the money on eBay as a kid, right? Like that was my job, right? Like running around town doing that. And I got connected to Steve, who was the CEO of Loud and Sony, and he needed one for his son, so I hooked him up, and I knew who he was, and stayed in contact and built a rapport with him, and over time, like just built a relationship where I was like, hey, I have some ideas, and just send him some stuff. And I like the coolest thing that I wanted at the time. I was like, man, maybe he'll send me like a Wu-Tang Clan hoodie. Like that would have been the coolest thing ever. He actually then offered me like a job, and I actually didn't expect that, but you have to, and then you also have to, like, when those opportunities come, like I was in high school, 16 years old, I was like, all right, well, am I really ready to like leave Minneapolis and like move to LA? Like, it's always like, yeah, I want to move and do that. But when it really boils down to it, are you really willing and ready to do that? So you have to, like, when those opportunities present themselves, you can't be scared to jump in. And I did it, and luckily it worked out.
Yeah. So how do you determine if something's not working? What I mean, like some of your ventures, you just know in your head.
You just can't lie. Yeah, you can't lie to yourself. You see the data and you evolve, whether that's moving on or adjusting it or adapting. But you just have to be real with yourself. And I think that's one area where I've always had like I've always been good at like identifying trends early on and seeing like what's working and what isn't, and maneuvering and figuring a way to get them to work or moving away from that stuff if it doesn't. Like you learn more oftentimes from those failures. People say it all the time than you do the successes. So
yeah, I was
you take those learnings and it'll help you, and you look back and you're like, oh, that, no matter how hard it is at the time, I've always looked back on failures and like, oh, that happened at this time because it prepared me for this next moment where I took advantage and did something different or took some learning from that made something else that much more successful, even though it's tough to appreciate at the time.
No, I think that's something that I just hear across the board from successful people is it's like the failures are the things you're going to learn way, way more from.
100%.
You don't want to let the success get to your head too much. Or else,
And by the way, when you have success, it doesn't last that long, right? Like if I have put out a great card with Tops, it's always like, all right, what's next? If I put out a song, if I write a book, right? Like all these things that I've done this year, it's like, all right, what's next? Like, that's cool, but like, what am I going to say? I wrote a book a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, doesn't really matter.
Got to be ready to pivot.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Momentum.
All right. Let's try to build some momentum here.
Let's go.
1920.
Let's do it. 1920.
I mean, I think we might have saved the best for last year. I hope. Let's get some Ja right now. He's looking so. I feel like everyone in the hobby is like, "Oh, Zion's back. He looks great." But like Ja is literally like looking like an MVP right now.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's had like the dunk of the year 3 times already, and there's
I've
like
seen
5
them play
games.
a couple times in Minnesota randomly too, and they're just like they're an exciting.
They're
team.
an electric team.
So this is an interesting one. It's first team signature number 2 of 5.
Wow.
From the Nuggets, old school David Thompson.
Okay.
So that's the first one.
Nice penmanship there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's setting us up. I think. Let's see what this next one is.
Hopefully.
I already lost the.
And we got it downtown in the first one.
This one's pretty fun. So he had a great rookie season during I think the pandemic was his rookie year. And this is a rookie card because of the year that it is. Number 9 out of 20 from the Miami Heat. He had a song about him too. Speaking of music, it's only right I get it, right? Jack Harlow, Tyler Harrow, right? So
That's a really good one, actually.
that's a good one.
6th man of the year last year.
6th man of the year. Still an exciting player. Could shoot and lots of hype and lots of things going on. Miami's a good team.
Miami's a really good team. Yeah. I mean, that whole Eastern Conference, I just
And
feel
wait,
like
did Jimmy Butler shave his braids?
They're gone.
I think they were extensions, right?
Yeah. Oh, were they?
Yeah.
That was bad. That was so bad. I saw him and
All those memes.
Yeah, and I was looking at the cards that he had and stuff too. I was like,
so funny.
Man,
I think this is now a recurring thing. Like he does this as like a troll job at the beginning of the year because he knows it's picture day, and then like every picture, every promo of him throughout the year is just him in like the goofiest looking hairdo.
Yeah.
You mentioned a sports song. What's the best sports songs of all time? I know Sheck West had Mobamba.
That still goes.
That beat is that
goes
beat's
hard.
sick.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of music, in terms of sports.
I love it. Yeah, in terms of players, I just love though. For me, like it's so great. Like when I used to go to the games as a kid, like my favorite moment actually in sports, probably in sports history, if you're like tell the moment, like beyond like maybe the Twins getting like that 7th out and scoring that because it's tough to top, is just watching any game in the 90s, turning on TV, right? Bulls are on TV. Stadium goes black.
Yep.
Alan Parsons, you hear the little guitar riff, do 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 do, from North Carolina.
Still the best.
Number 23. Like I get goosebumps even just talking about that. So now to be able to come back and help program and sequence like sports and music games and do those things is just so incredible. It's literally like my dream job, right? Like I always thought I was going to be a pro athlete as a kid, and now I'm like I've made it to the pros just in a different way, right? You have to pivot, like talking about what we're talking about, right? Like you take a different path. It wasn't actually playing, but I still found a way to the major leagues, right? And so, but being at like those moments and like hearing those songs like Alan Parsons Project, Serious. Go look up if you haven't watched that Michael Jordan intro. It's electric, right? Like
Last Dance on Netflix. There you go. Get a plug
like,
as if it needed it.
It's so incredible, right? Like that's just like the most energy that you'll ever feel, no matter what. Like from those things. So I love being able to program that. And I remember playing for like one of those moments. I remember was we launched Big 3, and it was back in Philly, and Iverson was there. So it was Dr. J and Iverson. So playing the music for Iverson, and I played one of my remixes, and just. The arena was electric, and like watching him come out to that in Minnesota doing it, and even recently in Michigan, like playing the biggest stadium in North America. The only I think stadium bigger in the world is like an India cricket arena, but for 112,000 people that are singing like Mr. Brightside, like when I cut the music out, it's
nice.
Like, and there's no bigger venue, so it gets no bigger as a DJ, right? Then there's nowhere bigger that you can play. And to have 112,000 people singing that stuff at your kind of whim and control is just electric.
In music and sports, it's like I think I point to this year the Edwin Diaz walkout this year. It just caught on. Right? It was wild, and they actually got Timmy Trumpet there, and it was just
incredible. I love it. Now everybody copied. We did I did some stuff for Jorge Lopez and the Twins after obviously everybody saw those things, so we did a little intro. I remixed. We did the Lights Out part of the Travis Scott and Drake Sicko Mode like remix, and like would dark out the stadium for it. So yeah, for me that's where I love. And I think like look, when people go to games, like at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like that's why you're buying tickets and fun. So that's a key part and element of it. And I remember like I really realized the power of it during the pandemic. Going to Minnesota and still going to the stadium with no fans there. I'm literally the only person and maybe a couple photographers walking around in the seats. And at first I was like, oh, this will be awesome. I'm the only one there. I don't have to deal with people. It was so miserable and like not having that. And I actually didn't go the first game. The team called me and were like, you have to come out. Like the energy is so dead. Even with no fans, like we've got to at least do something to hype the guys up. So just seeing like the impact that music has on the whole environment is, awesome. And that's where, I'm just so fortunate to do what I do.
And you need those fans to feed off of it because there are things that you can't can't predict.
100%.
Like,
Doing things like this year, like I DJ'd for the first time a NASCAR race live when they did the Clash at the Coliseum in LA this year, and then went back out and did some stuff at the Daytona 500. Like that was wild and experience. It's fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's fortunate. I'm very fortunate. This has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. This has been a blast.
Coming down.
Yeah.
Of course.
Let's
incredible.
Let's make it happen.
I mean, this is just so fun. So shout out to Chris and shout out to the whole Loupe team. Congrats on 2 years.
Absolutely.
2 years are awesome.
Yeah.
For card
yeah,
I'm gonna talk about it. There's going to be some more Topps drops coming this year.
Nice.
You'll see some stuff we're close to.
I love that stuff.
Things.
If you see, actually,
like
we got
these,
that.
Yeah, we're going to do a little promotion. We're going to re-bring out, and I'm actually going to drop a free card if you buy some of my Project 70 stuff. I'm pulling some out of the vault that I saved, and I did like a Aaron Rodgers 62 card that's going to be live next week for free, and we're going to give those away free with each order of people that buy my
Aaron
Topps
Rodgers,
projects.
you didn't burn him?
Had to be gritting your teeth while you were designing that one, I'd imagine.
Definitely no Aaron Rodgers.
The Bucks and DMX card, I gotta actually say while you're here, one of the coolest.
Thank you. That
designs.
was my favorite. Yeah, and especially from those things. And that we did that the time that DMX passed away, so like the timing was right. And when the best compliment that I get was when Byron told me like, "Man, this is the best card anybody's ever made of me." I was like, "Wow, that hit the spot." Especially like he's my favorite player right now, like legitimately to watch.
That's just such a dope card for a dope player.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, guys, DJ Skee.
Thank you guys again.
Thank you again for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Really fun time. Let's do it again.
Of course.